Means that do it. Burger
Welcome to Airchecks. In this hour, we will be presenting the final of the 2 episodes of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy from the Secondary Phase series. Further recording attempts of Hitchhikers were made on 23rd of October and December 3, 1979. The recording of the final episode in the second series was completed on January 13, 1980. The audio mixing of the episode was not finished until 25 January, the day it was transmitted. The tape arrived just a few minutes before transmission. The final 5 episodes, completing the second radio series, were broadcast in January 1980. From the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, from the Secondary Phase series, entitled Fit the 11th.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, by Douglas Adams, starring Peter Jones as the Book. Incredible though it may seem, it is in fact possible that the strange and terrible history of the planet Brontitor, where Arthur Dent, Ford Prefect, and Zaphod Beeblebrox are even now falling out of the sky onto curious and aggravating birds, admiring surprisingly large statues of unexpected people, i.e. Arthur Dent, exchanging hostile words with alien soldiers with inexplicable limps and generally having a fairly peculiar time of it, may yet admit of some form of explanation. Furthermore, it is possible that this explanation will have more than a little to do with the mysterious somethings, or whatchamacallits, of which the bird people refuse to speak. On top of which, it is also possible that Lintilla, the archaeologist, who may possibly turn out to have an almost impossibly strange life story, may play a major part in the uncovering of this explanation. It is even possible that pigs will fly, or that everyone will live happily ever after. In an infinite universe, everything, even the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, is possible.
Tell me how you got here.
Impossible.
What do you mean?
Well, it's something called the infinite improbability drive. Don't ask me how it works, or I'll start to whimper.
But a ship?
Oh, yes, a ship. It's parked in a cup 15 miles above us. Please don't ask me about that either.
Is there anything you are prepared to talk about?
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
What?
I know. All non-starters, really.
Can you reach your ship?
From here? No. What's the matter? You want me to go?
No. It's just our ship was found by the soldiers and disabled. We've no means of getting off the planet.
Well, I can't be much help. How many are you?
3 of us are here. Lintilla.
What?
Name.
Oh, Arthur. What's yours?
I just said Lintilla.
Oh, yes, sorry. I thought you... Oh, never mind. Hello.
Come, you can help us. We've a lot of digging to do and the automatic drill's broken down.
I don't think you can dig your way off a planet, can you?
No. I said we're archaeologists.
Ah. You don't look as if you're in good condition for digging with your arm in a sling. Is it broken?
Oh, no. It's just a pseudo-fracture.
Huh?
Pseudo-fracture. It's artificially induced. All the pain, swelling, and immobility of a fracture without the inconvenience of the fracture itself.
Oh. Is that good?
Good?
Yes, particularly?
Well, you wouldn't want me to have a broken arm, would you?
Well, no, of course not. I mean, I hardly know you.
Right. But the effect is useful.
Is it?
Yes, of course it is. Crisis psychology. The benefits of working under extreme pressure. Nothing more useless than a bored archaeologist. Come on, this tunnel leads to the workface. See this device?
Looks like a watch.
It's a crisis inducer. I set it to Mark 9, and... Hurry! They're after us!
Who?
No one! Come on, through the tunnel, they're coming! But they're coming!
Well, if you say so.
The major problem which the medical profession in the most advanced sectors of the galaxy had to tackle, after cures had been found for all the major diseases and instant repair systems had been invented for all physical injuries and disablements except some of the more advanced forms of death, was that of employment. Planets full of bronzed, healthy, clean-limbed individuals merrily prancing through their lives meant that the only doctors still in business were the psychiatrists, simply because no one had discovered a cure for the universe as a whole, or rather the only one that did exist had been abolished by the medical doctors. Then it was noticed that, like most forms of medical treatment, total cures had a lot of unpleasant side effects. Boredom, listlessness, lack of, well, anything very much. And with these conditions came the realization that nothing turned, say, a slightly talented musician into a towering genius faster than the problem of encroaching deafness. And nothing turned a perfectly normal, healthy individual into a great political or military leader better than irreversible brain damage. Suddenly, everything changed. Previously best-selling books such as How I Survived an Hour with a Sprained Finger were swept away in a flood of titles such as How I Scaled the North Face of the Megaperna with a perfectly healthy finger, but everything else sprained, broken or bitten off by a pack of mad yaks. And so doctors were back in business, recreating all the diseases and injuries they had abolished, in popular, easy-to-use forms. Thus, given the right and instantly available types of disability, even something as simple as turning on the 3D TV could become a major challenge. And when all the programs on all the channels actually were made by actors with cleft palates, speaking lines by dyslexic writers, filmed by blind cameramen, instead of merely seeming like that, it somehow made the whole thing more worthwhile. Meanwhile, Ford Prefect and Zaphod Beeblebrox, who have fortuitously landed on the back of a huge alien bird, are again finding that the most worthwhile thing in Ford's possession is something he acquired from the Salisbury branch of Marks and Spencer's, shortly before the planet Earth was demolished.
Take us down to the ground, you stupid bird.
No. I'm just going to circle around here for a while, then sooner or later you'll have to let go and continue your journey. I'm sorry, but there it is.
Zaphod, hold on. I'm going to crawl out along its neck.
You're gonna what?
Crawl along its neck with my towel.
Are you crazy? Miles up on a mad bird, you're gonna dry it behind the ears?
You watch.
Watch? I'm gonna pray, man. Know any good religions?
You watch. Here I go. Zaphod, how am I doing?
What?
How far have I got?
How do I know, man? I've got my eyes closed. Don't you know how far you've got?
No. I've got my eyes closed.
Terrific!
Get off my neck.
No.
Get off my... What are you doing?
I'm wrapping my towel around your eyes, you bird.
I can't see where I'm flying.
You don't need to if you fly downwards. Just follow the force of gravity. It's very simple. Great idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, keep running.
With the towel. Great little number.
Watch it! Keep running.
Just follow the force of gravity, I said. It's simplicity that always works, you know.
Here comes another! Will you just keep running, man?
I'm running. And it's the simplest ideas that take the greatest intelligence, you know. I mean, forget Marvin. I'm the one, you know, the intelligent one. When I go to bed at night, I don't need to read a book. I just glance through my brain for half an hour.
Run! We gotta find shelter!
There's something in the distance. Can't quite make it out.
Head for it. Keep running, man. How many birds, you reckon?
Couple of dozen.
Keep running.
Well, they can't keep it up indefinitely. I mean, they'll have to go and eat something, you know? I mean, looking at it purely from the biological angle.
Right.
And then they'll have to put their feet up for a couple of hours whilst they go through all the digestion bit. And then...
Keep running.
Yes, probably going to need a new towel at some stage.
Chronologically speaking, the immediately preceding noise, the noise does not in fact belong in this position. It has not been heard by Ford Prefect or Zaphod Beeblebrox, and neither have they witnessed the event that caused it. It is included at this moment partly to point up certain causal relationships between events past and events to come, and partly to create a sense of mystery and wonder, A, as to what it could possibly be, B, as to the nature of these past and future events, and C, as to whether these alleged causal relationships will become important, or indeed apparent. For the moment, suffice it to say that the event has taken place, and that Arthur Dent will very soon encounter one of its consequences. This is the sound of him emerging from the tunnel.
How did you manage that? You got here minutes ahead of me, and with an imaginary broken arm.
Well, that's the whole point. You always overcompensate for your disabilities. I'm thinking of having my whole body surgically removed. Right. Crisis over. I've turned off our pursuers.
What? Oh, yes, good. Well, look, tell me.
Lintilla?
Yes, you told me your name, thanks. The point is...
Lintilla? Where have you been? You've been hours.
Who's this?
I ran into some foot soldiers and had to stay hidden. I found this.
Who is it?
He says his name's Arthur, but I think he's harmless. He can help us dig.
Excuse me, who is this?
This is Lintilla.
But I thought you...
Where's Lintilla?
Who?
Over there at the workface. Most extraordinary thing has happened.
Yes, very probably,
Hello?
but why...
Is that you, Lintilla?
Excuse me, can I get a word in edgeways?
What do you want?
Why are the three of you?
Why
is there only one of you?
Could I have notice of that question?
It's very strange. We were making hardly any progress at all without the drill. Then just when I turned my back, there was an extraordinary noise.
What sort of noise?
A sort of noise. When I looked back, a whole shaft had opened up.
Really? Really?
It's exposed all the archaeological seams. We're almost home and dry. But that's impossible. Well, I don't know about impossible. It's very improbable.
But why are you all exactly the same as each other?
Well, you're exactly the same as yourself, aren't you?
This is true,
Well then,
but unhelpful.
we're clones.
Ah, clones. I've heard of that. You mean there was one of you to begin with, and then exact copies were made, and now there are three of you?
Yes, except that there are now nearly 578,000 million of us. It's all right. The others aren't here at the moment. Can we get on with the work?
That's rather a lot, isn't it?
The problem of the 578,000 million Lintilla clones is very simple to explain, rather harder to solve. Cloning machines have, of course, been around for a long time and have proved very useful for reproducing particularly talented or attractive or, in response to pressure from the serious cybernetics marketing lobby, particularly gullible people, and this was all very fine and splendid and only occasionally terribly confusing. And then one particular cloning machine got badly out of sync with itself. Asked to produce 6 copies of a wonderfully talented and attractive girl called Lintilla for a Prentice Vogan escort agency, whilst another machine was busy creating 500 lonely business executives in order to keep the laws of supply and demand operating profitably, the machine went to work. Unfortunately, it malfunctioned in such a way that it got halfway through creating each new Lintilla before the previous one was actually completed, which meant, quite simply, that it was impossible ever to turn it off without committing murder. This problem taxed the minds, first of the cloning engineers, then of the priests, then of the letters page of the sidereal record straightener, and finally of the lawyers who experimented vainly with ways of redefining murder, re-evaluating it, and in the end even respelling it, in the hope that no one would notice. A solution has now been found, but since it is not a particularly pleasant one, it will only be revealed if it becomes absolutely necessary. Meanwhile, Arthur Dent is about to discover the terrifying truth about the somethings, or whatchamacallits, of which the bird people refuse to speak.
You see, these different strata in the rock face of the shaft represent the successive ages of this planet's history.
Oh, yes. Isn't that interesting?
Interesting? It's frightening.
Is it? Well, actually, it just looks like a slice of layer cake to me.
Then why did you say it looked interesting?
Oh, well, I'm quite interested in layer cake.
Look at it. Doesn't anything strike you?
Well, it's rock, isn't it?
Down here we have layer after layer, the remains of early settlements, one on top of another. Then more layers, thicker ones, the remains of cities, each built on the ruins of the previous one. We're talking about thousands of years, you see. And then suddenly above this level, what?
More rock?
But what's special about it?
Well, it's all smooth, no layers.
Yes, no further building. No one actually living on the planet, or at least on its surface. So this previous layer is the significant one. And do you know what it consists of?
Rock?
No.
Stone?
No.
Some different sort of rock, the name of which temporarily escapes me.
No. Feel it. Scratch it.
Oh, yes. It's slightly sort of soft and crumbly.
What's it like?
I know. It's,
Yes.
What's the name of that soft, crumbly sort of rock?
But it isn't rock.
Well, what is it then?
Shoes.
What?
Shoes. Billions of them. An entire archaeological layer of compressed shoes.
Shoes? How can you tell?
We knew all along. We just needed confirmation.
Why shoes?
Because, fella, shoes are the economic future of this galaxy.
Huh?
Stand up, both of you.
Who are you?
I only happen to be Hig Hertenflurst. I only happen to be the risingest young executive in the Damonsaxel Shoe Corporation. I only happen to have masterminded the entire rationalization of this planet to total shoe orientation. I only happen to be sitting on top of the biggest development deal in the entire history of footwear, and I only happen to be very deeply disturbed at finding my planet riddled with subversives bent on undermining the whole structure of the Damonsaxel operation, and thus the very economic future of the galaxy itself. And I only happen to think that I would be very well advised to have both of you weirdos and the other two chicks revoked on the spot. Does that answer your question?
I can't remember what I asked you now.
There is, of course, also the question of the noise, which, as has been suggested, was in some way connected with the sudden and fortuitous appearance of a deep shaft in the ground. Further noises are now to be heard at the very bottom of this shaft, which may go some way towards explaining the previous noise. This is what the new noise sounds like. After a while, it develops along these lines. And then continues thus.
Fact. I ache, therefore I am. Or in my case, I am, therefore I ache. Oh, look, I appear to be lying at the bottom of a very deep, dark hole. That seems a familiar concept. What does it remind me of? Ah, I remember. Life. Perhaps if I lie here and ignore it, it'll go away again. Or then again, perhaps not. To be perfectly frank with myself, if it didn't go away as a result of me falling 15 miles through the air and a further mile through solid rock, I'm probably stuck with it for good. Why don't I just lie here anyway? Why don't I climb out? Why don't I just go zoodle-wordle? Does it matter? Even if it does matter, does it matter that it matters? Zoodle-wordle, zoodle-wordle, zoodle-wordle.
And so on. Meanwhile, at the top of the shaft, mere nanoseconds have passed since Arthur said, "I can't remember what I asked you now."
You!
Me?
Why do those other two chicks we picked up look exactly like you?
It's a long story.
Quick précis, then.
Because.
That's neat. Now listen, I could just have you revoked.
Revoked?
Yeah, Killed, revoked. But instead, I think I'll suddenly take a liking to you both.
Oh, don't we get any say in the matter?
Foot Warrior! I've decided to take these two back to my office and like them.
Sir.
I think I'd like them on the wall best. See to it. We'll go in my business buggy.
At once, sir.
And don't limp.
No, sir. I'll try not to, sir.
Don't just try, cut it right out.
Yes, sir.
Now you're limping with your other foot.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Don't limp with either foot.
Right, sir.
You two prisoners.
Who, us?
Pick up the Foot Warrior and bring him back with you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to my office, the nerve center of the operation here. Since you were so keen to find out the truth about us, you shall see it in comfort. Foot Warrior.
Sir?
Showed him the film.
Yes, sir. Oh.
You two. Carry him to the projector scope.
What's the matter with him?
His feet are the wrong size for his shoes.
Ah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is a Damonsaxel Galactic Shoe Corporation film. Adventures in aggressive marketing. Take a planet, any planet. Take, for instance, the planet Bartrax or Hertringfur or Earth. or Kiasma,
That's where I come
or
from, but it's been
Aztec,
demolished.
Or any
In
of
which
the
case
many
it's escaped a
planets we
very
have
nasty
currently
fate.
declared
Worse than
marketing
being
on.
demolished.
Much. You watch.
We will see what can really be achieved by looking at the planet Brontisor.
That's my baby. They're very proud of me back at Central Office.
Mere centuries ago, a happy, prosperous, busy planet, all right. Yes, not a care in their world.
Hello. Morning. You happy?
Ooh, terribly happy today, thank you. Yes. And you, prosperous?
Oh, indeed, so yes. You busy?
Oh, yes. And healthy, bright eyes, clear skin, feet in good nick. Isn't life a wonderful thing?
Oh, yes. Super.
Oh, yes, only one tiny little thing wrong here. They're not making money for the Dolman Sachs Little Shoe Corporation. So, on the far side of their moon, we set up a Dolman Sachs Little Shoe Shop intensifier array, and suddenly the people are gripped by an insane, irrational desire to build shoe shops. In every road, on every street corner, in every city shopping precinct, shoe shop after shoe shop.
Oxford Street.
What?
Oxford Street. They just showed a picture of Oxford Street.
And then we really put the screws on them. Yes, fashion. Every year the shoes in the shops are either much too wide or much too thin, or in extreme cases even joined together at the heel. Oh yes, how we laughed up on the backside of their moon. How we cried with laughter when every last shop on the planet was turned into a shoe shop. How we coughed and spluttered with mirth when the people tried to revolt and we had to send in the foot warriors.
Do not panic. Lay down your arms. We just want you to relax and enjoy your shoes. They are very stylish and fashion conscious. Be cool. Step out in style. Relax and enjoy your shoes. Relax and enjoy your shoes. Relax and enjoy your shoes.
What's happening? Why have the lights gone out? Foot warrior!
Sir?
Go to the emergency power supply.
Can't, sir. Think I've got gangrene of the feet.
Well, then just seize the prisoners.
Sir.
Prisoners?
Yes?
Seize each other. Now, what's going on out here? Who's that breaking down the door?
Marvin.
I suppose you'll want to be rescued now.
Oh, yes, please.
Not you. Come on, Lintilla. Let's get out of here.
Well, come on then, if you're coming.
Wait! I've just got to turn on my crisis inducer. There. Oh, come on, they're after us! Down the corridor.
This way?
Yes.
That's up the corridor.
Oh, right up the bloody corridor. Come on!
Oh, that way. I thought you were pointing down
Come
And so everything points to shoes as being the mysterious somethings, or whatchamacallits, of which the bird people would not speak. And the curious fact is that the shoe shop intensifier array mentioned mere seconds ago is in actuality a phony, designed to make Dolman Sachs Lil executives feel they're doing something excitingly aggressive when in fact all they need to do is wait. The shoe event horizon is now a firmly established and rather sad economic phenomenon, which in future times will be taught as part of the basic middle school life, the universe and everything syllabus. Here is a typical computer class from the Brandisvogen Megalice, Unidate N11 VCK 168.
Good morning, life form.
Hi, Teach.
Are you sitting comfortably?
Yes.
Then stand up. Harsh Economic Truths, Class 17. You are standing up?
Yes.
Good. Posit. You are living in an exciting go-ahead civilization. Where are you looking?
Up.
What do you see?
The open sky, the stars, an infinite horizon.
Correct. You may press the button.
Thank you. Oh, that feels nice.
Posit. You are living in a stagnant, declining civilization. Where are you looking?
Down.
What do you see?
My shoes.
Correct. What do you do to cheer yourself up?
Press the button.
Incorrect. Think again. Your world is a depressing place. You are looking at your shoes. How do you cheer yourself up?
I buy a new pair.
Correct.
Can I press the button?
All right.
Oh, it's so nice.
Now, imagine everyone does the same thing. What happens?
Everyone feels nice.
Forget the button. Concentrate. Everyone buys new shoes. What happens?
More shoes.
And?
More shoe shops.
Correct.
Can I?
No.
Oh.
And in order to support all these extra shoe shops, what must happen?
Everyone must keep buying shoes.
And how is that arranged?
Manufacturers dictate more and more different fashions and make shoes so badly that they either hurt the feet or fall apart.
So that...
everyone has to buy more shoes. Until everyone gets fed up with lousy, rotten shoes.
And then what?
Why can't I press the button?
And then what? Come on.
Massive capital investment by the manufacturers to try and make people buy the shoes.
Which means?
More shoe shops.
And then we reach what point?
The point where I press the button again.
All right.
Oh, that's so nice. That's really nice.
And then we reach what point?
The shoe event horizon. The whole economy overbalances. Shoe shops outnumber every other kind of shop. It becomes economically impossible to build anything other than shoe shops. And bingo, I get to press the button again. Woo!
Wait for permission. Now, what's the final stage?
Every shop in the world ends up as a shoe shop.
Full of?
Shoes no one can wear.
Result?
Famine, collapse and ruin. Any survivors eventually evolve into birds and never put their feet on the ground again.
Excellent. End of lesson. You may press the button.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Teach. Goodbye.
Aren't you forgetting something?
What?
Press the other button.
Oh, right.
And so forth. Meanwhile, at the Dolmen Saxlil base, the excitement is, of course, mounting.
You did a good job finding us, Marvin. Where have you been?
In a deep, dark hole. I climbed out because I started to like it too much.
Come on, keep moving. We must find a way out of here.
Right!
Whilst a mere mile or so to the east, Zaphod Beeblebrox and Ford Prefect are very keen to find their way into somewhere, namely some sort of shelter from the continuing revenge of the bird people. They find it in the form of a derelict building which is vast, very low, and very, very old.
The door! Open it! Force it, man! Force it! Oh, okay, get in!
Hey, look at this. Look what we found, man.
Amazing!
It's a derelict spaceport.
Looks like no one's been in for centuries. All these amazing old ships.
Yeah.
Just rust and wreckage.
Yeah. Spooky, man. Like, what are those things eggs come out of?
Birds?
No, after that.
Eh?
What do they come out of the birds in?
Eggshells?
That's it, just like huge, broken eggshells. And all the dust, man. And the huge cobwebs.
And where you get huge cobwebs, you get...
Look out, man! Excuse me. One huge spider.
Polite, though.
Transstellar space lines. Must have been real googie ships once, but now...
One look and they'd fall apart. I mean, look at that one.
It fell apart, man.
Hey, but look at that one. The big one over there. It's covered with muck and dust, but looks like it's still in one piece.
Yeah, and it's still connected to its supply lines. Hey, man, feel this supply line.
Hey, it's...
Yeah.
Weird.
You know what I'm thinking?
No.
Neither do I. It's frightening, isn't it?
Let's take a look.
Ford?
Yeah?
Is this ship...
Feels like it's on power. Just a very slight vibration.
But it must have been here for centuries. Hey, man, pass me those 4 bits of tubing.
What, these?
Yeah. I'm gonna make me a stethoscope and take a listen to this baby. There. And there. Like that.
You hear anything?
Hey, yeah. Yeah, I can hear something.
What is it?
Ford, I don't believe what I just heard.
Here, let me listen.
Okay, but you better keep your head screwed on, kid.
What has Zaphod heard in the space liner, and is it really as horrifying as all that? Will it lead him directly to the discovery of his goal, despite his singular lack of exertion in that direction? Will it become absolutely necessary to reveal the unpleasant solution to the problem of Lintilla's clones? Will everything tie up neatly, or will it be just like life, quite interesting in parts, but no substitute for the real thing? What is the real thing? Some of these questions may possibly be answered in the next inexplicable episode of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
In that episode of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Peter Jones was the book, Simon Jones was Arthur Dent, Geoffrey McGivern was Ford Prefect, Mark Wing Davey was Zaphod Beeblebrox, Stephen Moore was Marvin and the Pupil, David Tate was Eddie, the Computeach and the Commentator, John Baddeley was Bird 2 and the Foot Warrior, Rula Lenska was Lintilla and her clones, and Mark Smith only happened to be Hig Hurtenflirst. Radiophonic sound and music was by Paddy Kingsland of the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. The programme was written by Douglas Adams and produced by Geoffrey Perkins. Many sentences contained in that programme were of a very dangerous length and were performed by highly trained vocal practitioners. On no account should inexperienced life forms attempt to imitate them without proper medical, jaw and lung supervision.
That was Fit the 11th. Now, for the final episode of the secondary phase series of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, here is Fit the 12th.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, starring Peter Jones as the book.
What we find is this, that Ford Prefect and Zaphod Beeblebrox have broken into an ancient building, concerning which they have reached the following conclusion.
It's a derelict spaceport.
And within which they have discovered a large number of
amazing old ships,
whose condition has been described by Ford Prefect in these terms.
Just rust and wreckage.
And by Zaphod Beeblebrox like this.
Just like huge, broken eggshells.
We find that one ship has caught their eye for this reason.
It's covered with muck and dust, but looks like it's still in one piece.
Yeah, and it's still connected to its supply lines.
And we find that this provokes them into closer investigation. This is what they find.
Feels like it's on power. Just a very slight vibration.
But it must have been here for centuries. Hey, man, pass me those 4 bits of tubing.
What, these?
Yeah. I'm gonna make me a stethoscope and take a listen to this baby. There. And there. Like that.
You hear anything?
Hey. Yeah. Yeah, I can hear something.
What is it?
Ford. I don't believe what I just heard.
Here, let me listen.
Okay, but you better keep your head screwed on, kid. You can hear?
Yeah. It's a voice.
But can you hear what it's saying, man? Can you get your mind behind what it's saying?
Shh. I'm trying.
Transstellar Space Lines would like to apologize to passengers for the continuing delay to the departure of this flight.
Weird.
We are currently awaiting the loading of our complement of small lemon-soaked paper napkins for your comfort, refreshment, and hygiene during the flight, which will be of 2 hours' duration. Meanwhile, we thank you for your patience. The cabin crew will shortly be serving coffee and biscuits again.
Say, Ford, how long has this ship been standing here?
Man, there's a departure board right behind us. I've been looking at the flight schedules. Man, this ship is late. Man, this ship is very, very late. Man, this ship is over 900 years late.
Zaphod, we got to get in there.
But man, can you cope with what we might find?
I don't know. We got to get in there.
We gotta get in there. What we find, we find.
What we also find is that Arthur Dent, Marvin, and the girl Lintilla, who, as has already been established, has now been cloned over 578,000 million times, and has thus created a problem in some quarters, are now thoroughly lost in the Dolman Saxlil base. This is because there is no light, which is in turn because Marvin has done something aggravating to the Dolman-Saxlell power supply, which is in turn because he was anxious to create some confusion under cover of which he could rescue Arthur and Lintilla, which was in turn because they had been captured by Hig Hurtenflurst, which was in turn because... and so on back to the initial and highly controversial creation of the universe. Only 2 of Lintilla's 578,000 million clones are on the planet Brontitor with her, and it is more than likely that we shall also find them.
Ah, there's your better half and worse half. Or at least you're exactly the same halves. Thirds,
Lintilla?
whatever. Why do people lead such complicated
What
lives?
happened to you? There were a couple of foot warriors standing guard over us, but after a while they sat guard over us. Then they wandered away to find some corn plasters, and so we escaped.
Right, where are we going?
How should I know? It's your universe. You go where you like.
We'll get back to our ship.
I thought you said it didn't work.
But there's a derelict spaceport about a mile or so from here. We might be able to get some parts to repair it with.
Ah, well, I'm not very skilled at repairing spaceships.
Well, you can learn.
Take a bit of time, I think.
You could take some evening classes.
What, here?
Yes. I've got a bottle of them, little pink ones.
Well,
Come on, then, let's get out of here before they restore the power and find us. They restored the power.
They found us. Keep down.
We demand that you keep yourself up, brother. With your hands up. We've got you covered. Shooting us won't do you any good. Or us, for that matter. That's right. Come out. Now.
It probably seems a terrible thing to say, but you know what I sometimes think would be useful in these situations? What? A gun of some sort.
Will this help?
What is it?
It's a gun of some sort.
Oh, that'll help. Can you make it fire?
Yes.
Right. Look, why don't you keep firing at them? I'll make a dash for the next intersection. You throw me the gun, I'll keep firing, and you make a dash for it. Did you ever see Gunfight at the OK Corral?
What?
No, you wouldn't have done.
What?
Never mind.
No, what?
No, just an old Western. Please, I don't want to talk about it. Right. Everyone understand?
Yes. Yes.
Marvin?
Understand. You ask me if I understand.
Yes or no?
Guess.
Right, I'm going. You fire, I'll run. Now! Right.
Excuse me.
Who are you?
Me? Well, you see, what it is, is I'm Poodoo. And look, I'm sorry to interrupt. Are you busy?
What? Yes.
Can I just ask you something?
No, in a minute. Please get back. Right. Lintilla!
Only I can see you're busy, so I won't take up a moment of your time. If I could just...
What?
Introduce a couple of friends of mine. Well, 3, actually. 4 if you count the priest.
Hello.
Only we were wondering...
Who are you?
Can I just ask you something?
Look, please.
It's just, do you know those girls over there?
What? Yes.
Oh, that's good. Thank you very much. That's all I wanted. That's all. Thanks.
Good. Lintilla, throw the gun!
Only what I ask, you see, is, and seeing as you're busy, I'll just be very brief. Did I introduce my friends?
Yes.
I'm sure they'd like to introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm a Litnil.
So am I.
Me too.
Go away.
And this is Fartfar the priest. Farmfar. He's a priest, you see. He does marriages and other things, but mostly marriages. Only...
Shut up.
We were wondering if you could introduce a Litnil.
Who?
A Litnil, and a Litnil, and a Litnil to the girls, your lady friends.
Lintilla!
Yes, that's right. Just social, you see. All very pleasant.
Throw the gun!
We've brought some drinks. We could just have a quiet social get-together. And some music, of course. Got to have some music. Here we go.
Throw the gun! Got it! Got it! Now, when I start firing, run!
Then, if it all goes very well, you see, we've got a priest on hand in case anybody wants to get married at all, just to round off the evening.
Are you totally mad?
No, they're not married yet. Oh, did you say mad?
Yes.
Oh, no, well, I don't think so. I thought you said married. Of course, they would be mad talking about marrying these girls if they were married already. Well, they could talk about it, of course, but somebody else would have to actually do it. Anyway.
Shut up.
Righto, Squire. Run! They're quite keen to get married, though, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Very much so.
Where did you nutters come from? Run!
Oh, what we did, you see, is we flew in. We flew in, you see. Oh, yes, we definitely flew in.
Well, bloody fly out again. Lintilla. Are you all right?
Yes.
Hello, ladies. Marvin?
Never better.
Good.
Still very bad, though.
Right. All you Lintillas, can you start firing again while I run the next bit? Lintilla? What's going on?
Hello. I think the lads and lasses are just getting acquainted. I'd leave them to it if I were you.
What? Look, we're trying to escape from the foot warriors. Can we have parties later?
But Arthur, we can't believe it.
These are the most attractive men we've ever met.
Are they?
All my life I've longed for such a moment.
Touching, isn't it?
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, just happiness, Squire. Only it's nice to bring a little happiness into life, don't you think?
Yes, but there's a time and place for everything. Well, I'll just get on with the shooting and saving everybody's lives then, shall I?
No kissing now, lovebirds. Very old-fashioned sector of the galaxy, this. No kissing allowed without names firmly on marriage certificates.
Oh.
Looks like a cue for action from you then, doesn't it, Padre? And I just happen to have the warrants for your marriage... licenses about my person.
Mad, totally bonkers.
And then, as soon as you're all happily conjoined, you can get on with escaping and everything, knowing that you have the love, support and trust of your chosen partners. Nice, isn't it? Now, who's going to marry who?
Listen, you foot warriors! Can you hold hard a bit with the firing? I've just got 3 impromptu weddings breaking out behind me.
What?
Weddings! You know, with this ring I thee wed, and that sort of thing.
Did you say weddings?
Yes!
Yes, I think so. Can we come?
No, stay back!
Dearly beloved, we are married. Yeah, we'll skip all that. Let's just get straight on with the signing and the pronouncement, shall we?
Let's all go mad, shall we?
Now, what you all do, you see, is you sign here. That's right. Look, let's change the music. Something a bit special for you.
Keep back!
That's good. Name there, that's very good. Right, Padre?
I now pronounce you men and wives.
Men, you can kiss your brides.
Nerve-wrackingly enough, the moment at which 2 Lintillas and 2 Elitnils unexpectedly vanish in what can only be described as a puff of unsmoke, coming as it does only seconds before Arthur discovers that Poodoo's alleged marriage licenses are not what they purport to be, but are, in fact, agreements to cease to be, drawn up by the cloning machine company's lawyers, is also the moment at which it becomes necessary to consider new developments in the Ford Prefect Zaphod Beeblebrock's situation. Having gained access to the ship, they prepare to enter the passenger compartments. This is what they find.
Passengers?
Yeah.
But alive?
Sleeping.
For all these years?
Suspended animation.
And the voice we heard?
Android stewardess. Look, here she comes now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for bearing with us during the slight delay. We will be taking off as soon as we possibly can. If you would like to wake up now, I will serve you coffee and biscuits. Wake up now.
Run, man!
Hey, what gives, man? What gives? What gives? What gives? What gives?
I mean, they woke up. They all woke up.
Passengers are not allowed on the flight deck. Please return to your seats and wait for the ship to take off. Coffee and biscuits are being served. This is your autopilot speaking. Please return to your seats.
Go back in there.
We're not passengers.
Please return to your seats.
No, we're not passengers.
Please return to your seats.
We're not... Hello? Can you hear me?
What's happening on this hell ship?
There has been a delay. The passengers are kept in temporary suspended animation for their comfort and convenience. Coffee and biscuits are served every 10 years, after which passengers are returned to suspended animation for their comfort and convenience. Departure will take place when flight stores are complete. We apologize for the delay.
Delay? Have you seen the world outside this ship? It's a wasteland, a desert. Civilization's been and gone. It's over. There are no lemon soaked paper napkins on the way from anywhere.
The statistical likelihood is that other civilizations will arise. There will one day be lemon-soaked paper napkins. Till then, there will be a short delay. Please return to your seats.
We are not.
Please return to your seats. Return to your seats.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Return to your seats.
This way.
No,
Return
this
to your
way.
seats.
Why?
First class. Come on.
Return to your seats. Return to your seats. Return Return to your seats. Return to your seats. Return to your seats. Return to your seats. Return to your
Zayford Beeblebrox.
Who?
My name's Zarniwoop. You wanted to see me. Please sit down.
And since this is, of course, an immensely frustrating and nerve-wracking moment for the narrative suddenly to switch tracks again, that is precisely what the narrative will now do.
Lentilla, are you all right?
I think so. Just shattered and drained.
Marvin's got Poodoo and the priest under control.
They're from the cloning machine company, I know.
Marvin's tied them up. He's put a cassette of his autobiography in their tape machine and left it running. So I think it's all up with them.
I didn't ask to be made. No one consulted me or considered my feelings in the matter. I don't think it even occurred to them that I might have feelings. After I was made, I was left in a dark room for 6 months, and me with this terrible pain and all the diodes down my left side. I called for succor in my loneliness, but did anyone come? Did they help? My first and only true friend was a small rat. One day, it crawled into a cavity in my right ankle and died. I have a horrible feeling it's still there.
As for the third Aletnil, well, it's the only time I've ever killed a man in cold blood, and I don't feel awfully...
He wasn't a real man. He was an anti-clone. There must be millions of them now roaming the galaxy, wiping out my sisters. What's happened to the foot warriors?
Oh, the flying chiropodist arrived. They all went off to have a word with him. Are you fit?
Yes, I'm fine. Really, I am. Come on, we must get to the spaceport. Coming, Marvin?
I suppose so.
There it is. Just a mile away. Nice clear day for a brisk walk. See that huge form over there in the distance?
Yes.
15-mile-high statue of me throwing a cup. Not often one comes across that sort of thing. Up there, you see, is the cup itself. Apparently it's held there by art. Wonderful, isn't it? Just a pity our ship's parked in it.
Arthur, look, it's coming down.
What? God, so it is. The cup's coming down. No, it isn't. The ground's going up.
The sky's moving. Sideways. It's folding up.
What's happening?
But there aren't many real people here at all. So what do you? Share and enjoy. Share and enjoy.
How you got? Possible. What we did, you see, is we flew in. We flew in, you see. Oh, yes, we definitely flew.
Here's to your achievements, April Beeblebrox.
Achievement?
Oh dear, I think you'll find reality is on the blink again.
And this is indeed what we find. For deep in the heart of the first-class passenger section of the slightly delayed Transstellar Spaceline's ship, the following horrifying events have been taking place.
Can I get you a drink?
Zarniwoop?
The same. I think...
But who are you, man? Why do I want to see you? I was told you were on an intergalactic cruise, which I can handle, but in your office, which I can't.
But I assure you it is true.
In what?
I wonder if...
What do you want, Ford?
A small jank spirit, if there is one.
Get the man a drink, Zarniwoop.
Or indeed a large one.
And one for me. 2 for me. There's nothing worse than having only one drunk head.
Well, here's to your achievements, April Beeblebrox.
Achievement? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What achievement?
Oh, I don't know. I achieved so many things, you know.
You have the heart of gold. You have brought it here.
Yeah.
Into my universe.
Yeah. What?
This universe. I created it in my office. You've been in it for quite a while now.
Huh? Is it all right if I just go and sit in this corner and get drunk? I may sing quietly if that doesn't disturb you. It's just been... Well, you know how it is.
You mean we're in an artificial universe?
Oh, yes.
All that out there?
Yes.
Like in your office?
Yes.
Oh, man, I've heard of open plan, but...
It's modelled very closely on the real one, you know, with just a few differences.
But when did we get into it, man? I mean, like, where? When?
You didn't notice? Well, I'll let you work it out for yourself. Now you've brought me the ship, we can dismantle this universe, return to the real one, and find what we're after.
Can I just ask you some questions?
By all means.
Okay. Well, for starters, I'll have who, what, when, and where, and then whither, whether, whence, and wherefore to follow, and one big side order of why.
And the wine list, please.
It's terribly simple. Long ago, you and I and others planned to discover who it was who was ruling the galaxy, who was making all the decisions behind the president's back. I found where he was located and retreated to the safe hiding of the bar in the first-class lounge of a forgotten spaceship in an... Can we stop that man singing?
Hey, Ford! I'll sing something else.
In an artificial universe. Meanwhile, you were doing the most important job. You stole the infinite improbability drive ship, without which it would be impossible to breach the barriers protecting his world. And then you brought it to my hiding place.
Ford! Oh, yeah?
You're still singing.
Am I? Oh, yes, I am. What's the matter? You don't like it? I'll sing something different.
Well,
Won't you
I'll just bring your ship down. Then we can get out of here and get on with it.
Holding spirit.
The major problem, one of the major problems, for there are several, one of the many major problems with governing people is that of who you get to do it, or rather of who manages to get people to let them do it to them. To summarize, it is a well-known and much lamented fact that those people who most want to rule people are, ipso facto, those least suited to do it. To summarize the summary, anyone who is capable of getting themselves made president should on no account be allowed to do the job. To summarize the summary of the summary, people are a problem. And so this is the situation we find. A succession of galactic presidents who so much enjoy the fun and palaver of being in power that they never really notice that they're not. And somewhere in the shadows behind them, who? Who can possibly rule if no one who wants to can be allowed to?
Pussy, 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 coochie, 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 coochie. Pussy want his fish. Nice piece of fish. Pussy want it. Pussy not eat his fish. Pussy get thin and waste away, I think. I imagine this is what will happen, but how can I tell? I think it's better if I don't get involved. I think fish is nice, but then I think that rain is wet, so who am I to judge? Ah, you're eating it. Fish come from far away, or so I'm told, or so I imagine I'm told. When the men come, or when in my mind the men come in their 6 black shiny ships, do they come in your mind too? What do you see, Pussy? And when I hear their questions, all their many questions, do you hear questions? Perhaps you just think they're singing songs to you. Perhaps they are singing songs to you, and I just think they're asking me questions. Do you think they came today? I do. There's mud on the floor, cigarettes and whiskey on my table, fish in your plate, and a memory of them in my mind. And look what else they've left me. Crosswords, dictionaries, and a calculator. I think I must be right in thinking they ask me questions. To come all that way and leave all these things just for the privilege of singing songs to you would be very strange behavior. Or so it seems to me. Who can tell? Who can tell? I think I saw another ship in the sky today. A big white one. I'd never seen a big white one, only 6 small black ones. Perhaps 6 small black ones can look like one big white one. Perhaps I'd like a glass of whiskey. Yes, that seems more likely. Perhaps some different people are coming to see me.
There?
Yes.
What, that shack?
Yes.
Weird. But it's the middle of nowhere.
Oh, come on. We must have come to the wrong place.
Knock on the door.
Hello?
Excuse me, do you rule the universe?
I try not to. Are you wet?
Wet? Well, doesn't it look as if we're wet?
That's how it looks to me, but how you feel about it might be a different matter. If you find warmth makes you feel dry, you'd better come in.
Sure.
Oh, thanks
fine.
very much.
Thank you.
Very kind.
Just through...
What, you?
Man, what's your name?
I don't know. Why, do you think I ought to have one? It seems odd to give a bundle of vague sensory perceptions a name.
Listen, we must ask you some questions.
All right. You can sing to my cat if you like.
Would he like that?
You'd better ask him that.
How long have you been ruling the universe?
Ah, this is a question about the past, is it?
Yes.
How can I tell that the past isn't a fiction designed to account for the discrepancy between my immediate physical sensations and my state of mind?
Do you answer all questions like this?
I say what it occurs to me to say when I think I hear people say things. More I cannot say.
Oh, that clears it up. He's a weirdo.
No, listen. People come to you, yes?
I think so.
And they ask you to take decisions about wars, about economies, about people, about everything going on out there in the universe.
I only decide about my universe. My universe is what happens to my eyes and ears. Anything else is surmise and hearsay. For all I know, these people may not exist. You may not exist. I say what it occurs to me to say.
But don't you see? What you decide affects the fate of millions of people.
I don't know them. I've never met them. They only exist in words I think I hear. The men who come to me say, so-and-so wants to declare what we call a war. These are the facts. What do you think? And I say. Sometimes it's a smaller thing. They might say, for instance, that a man called Zaphod Beeblebrox is president, but he is in financial collusion with a consortium of high-powered psychiatrists who want him to order the destruction of a planet called Earth because of some sort of experiment. Should he be allowed?
Yeah. Now, wait a minute, man.
Sit down, Arthur, sit down.
Let go of me.
Oh, Arthur, you know me. What
leave him. We'll sort it out later.
But it's folly to say you know what is happening to other people. Only they know, if they exist.
Do you think they do?
I have no opinion. How can I have?
Ford, the Earthman, do you think he's... I mean, that's not it, you know. That's not it at all, man.
But don't you see that people live or die on your word?
It's nothing to do with me. I am not involved with people. The Lord knows I am not a cruel man.
You say the Lord. So you believe in...
My cat. I call him the Lord. I am kind to him.
All right. How do you know he exists? How do you know he knows you to be kind, or enjoys what you think of as your kindness?
I don't. I have no idea. It merely pleases me to behave in a certain way to what appears to be a cat. What else do you do? Please, I am tired.
What was that?
I don't know, man. But I didn't like the sound of it. Let's get after the Earthman.
Look, sorry to rush, great ruler. Keep up the disinterested work, right? See you around.
No, wait! There is so much we must discover.
Yeah, later. Arthur! Arthur! He's gone.
Holy Belgium, man! So is the swatting ship!
Was all that true?
Oh, what is truth, man? You heard the weirdo?
Fine. Zaphod, whatever may or may not happen from here on in, I just want you to know something.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I respect you.
Great.
Just not very much, that's all.
What does the future hold for our heroes now? What does the past or present hold, for that matter? Will Arthur Dent now embark on a terrible and protracted vendetta against Zaphod Beeblebrox? Will he be all right, alone in the universe with only the infinite improbability drive ship, Marvin the paranoid android, Lintilla the archaeologist, Eddie the shipboard computer, a lot of chatty doors, and a battered copy of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for company? Who will Ford Prefect ally himself with? Arthur Dent, Zaphod Beeblebrox, or a large pan-galactic gargle blaster? Will there ever be another series of that wholly remarkable and mystifying entity, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Find out, if you can.
In that, the final episode of this series of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Peter Jones was the book, Simon Jones was Arthur Dent, Geoffrey McGivern was Ford Prefect and the Priest, Mark Wing Davy was Zaphod Beeblebrox, Stephen Moore was Marvin and the Man in the Shack, David Tate was Eddie in the Arlitnils, Rula Lenska was the Lentillas and the Stewardess, Ken Campbell was Poodoo, and Jonathan Price was Zarniwoop and the Autopilot. Radiophonic sound and music was by Paddy Kingsland of the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. Technical presentation throughout the series was by Alec Hale-Munro, Lisa Braun and Colin Duff. The programme was written by Douglas Adams, produced by Geoffrey Perkins, and was made with the assistance of a digital writing system.
That was the final episode of the secondary phase series of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, entitled Fit the 12th. Not to worry, though. We will start the tertiary phase of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in episode 23 of Airchecks this Saturday, September 23, 2024. Airchecks is a 3-hour podcast that is uploaded in 3-hour increments and are available where podcasts are downloaded. See you on at the same time in the same channel.